This is a basket made out of organic material. It was found in Egypt. It's from 1400 BC, so this is a 3,400-year-old basket. Not a replica, that's the basket. And so you can see in very dry climates that you have in Egypt, you can preserve organic materials for a long time. These are wooden bowls and dishes that have been preserved in bog conditions. Here's some more bog finds. But that's wood, thousands of years old. Here's a chair. It's interesting, whenever you find shoes, preserved shoes, there's a pair of sandals from, this is from the Dead Sea area. These are first century sandals. I don't think they're Jesus' sandals, but they're from the first century, and when you're reading in the Gospels about the sandals, probably look something like this. This is like the oldest shoe. I think it's like a 5,000-year-old shoe or something from the Caucasus, made out of leather. Here's a wooden cosmetic case from Egypt. You can see a mirror. It's a piece of bronze that will be polished so you can see your reflection in it. These alabaster vials would hold the different types of creams and ointments that you would need. You know, the base and the concealer and the lip liner and lip gloss and lipstick and your eyeliner and your mascara. You know what I'm talking about. Just all the different things that you need to make yourself look beautiful is all in this one case. And you can tell who it belongs to because the cartouche here, and it belonged to a guy. Metrosexuals in Egypt, they wore makeup. The guys wore as much makeup as the gals, in the noble class anyway. This is our organic finds. There's a slingshot. Think about David and Goliath. And so when you picture David fighting Goliath with a slingshot, you think of the stones. They're pretty small. Actually, the stones were the size of softballs. That's the reason he only carried 5 of them, because you want to do some damage. And so those stones, those are sling stones. And they're about the size of a baseball or softball. And so even if you're a giant, that's going to hurt when that pounds into your forehead. They had board games. This is an ivory board game from Egypt. One of the most famous was a game called Senet. And I've read that our game Backgammon, you can actually trace backgammon all the way back to these early Senet games. Here's another Senet game. These are the dice, and they look like bones. Actually, they are bones, later dice. And so whenever you're rolling the dice and they call them bones, it's because they began as bones. I know you guys don't gamble, but hypothetically, if you were to gamble with dice, they would call them bones. These are clappers. They did a lot of hand clapping in the ancient world, and your hands start getting raw after you clap for a while. So they had sticks, and you would slap the sticks together. And this is a flute and a double flute. These are maracas. You shake them, and they rattle. And historians draw attention to the fact that many of these early instruments actually look like weapons. The hands, the clappers, look like throw sticks or the boomerang in the ancient world, and the flute looks like a blow dart gun, and the maracas look like battle axes. And so they like to draw the possibility that the early instruments actually developed from weapons. Of course, the harp looks like what? Looks like a bow. So this is probably far-fetched, but imagine a bunch of warriors sitting around the campfire singing their camp songs. And they take out their weapons, start slapping them together, and get out their bow and like a string bass or whatever, and eventually put more strings on it. You got like a Gatlin bow. I don't know, just an idea. Crazy idea, but who knows? Maybe early instruments were trying to pass the time. It's interesting that this is a Assyrian relief that shows the early sitar or guitar. It's a harp, and then you see their bows on their backs. It's almost like putting the two together. I don't know if that's the case, but it's warriors. I mean, they have bows and they're playing instruments.